you ever lost on a coin toss? Sir, the most you ever lost on a coin toss.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
All you Fleming film show fanatics and worthy viewers, I'm JD, your Review Master, and today we are here to talk our worst Marvel movies, our top 5 worst Marvel movies, and of course we have, as always, the host, Rob Fleming.
Hello everybody, hello Justin, how are you?
Good, Rob, how are you?
I'm great, and here to join us is Felipe Delgado. Hello Felipe.
Hey there, guys.
When was the last time you were on? Do you remember what we did?
Back to the Future podcast.
Aha, okay.
Yes,
great.
That's right.
So much fun.
I
Okay,
tried to
good.
record a Parallel episode as well, but it kind of got a little bit too, kind of had a bit of fault, so we couldn't air it in the end.
That's alright.
But
Yeah.
I know Felipe is a fan of the MCU, just like I am, and I know you just love the other. I just know you love some of them, Justin. But I feel like I thought of bringing Felipe on to talk about the worst MCU films.
Yeah, we had a huge hit with Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings last week, and so we decided we're going to do the ones that really weren't such big hits, or weren't really ones that we enjoyed as much as, like Shang-Chi, or my favorite Marvel movie, Captain America Civil War. So, it's time to talk the bad, because there are some bad ones out there.
There is. Felipe, since this is your comeback episode, would you like to kick off with your 5th worst MCU film?
Yeah. And, while the MCU has mostly done good movies, especially right now, they've really gained their footing in it, but they started off kind of rocky. But they still managed to be successful, which I do find to be impressive. All that said, I think my 5th least favorite that I'd start with is Avengers: Age of Ultron. Now that one I still find enjoyable, and I still appreciate the effort made by Joss Whedon, and I respect Joss Whedon as a cinematic artist, or at least as a writer. but I felt like there was a lot of studio pressure, that and it was a lot for Joss Whedon to carry, probably too much. It was too much weight for him, and it kind of ended up not. It felt very overstuffed, um, and that things could have been fleshed out a little better. Than I would have liked to seen a director's cut of that movie, but we never got that.
Do you like the villain?
I did like the villain, but I do find it funny that in the trailer he's made out to be very menacing and scary and all that, but in the movie he's very charismatic and witty. So, but I still liked him. Even though he's not quite what we expected.
Yeah. Age of Ultron is a little bit lower down my list. I will talk about that in a bit. I'm going to talk about my fifth worst, and it's one of the most recent ones, and it's Black Widow. I did not like this movie. This is one of the only Marvel movies I didn't like on the first watch, and I don't know how I'm going to feel about it when it comes on Disney Plus properly, when I give it a rewatch. I just felt really disappointed with the first Marvel film after down, and it just really disappointed me, and it made me realise I don't superhero films as much as I used to. I mean, I love The Dark Knight, I love Avengers Endgame, but I feel like now they've reached their peak. I don't know what direction they're going to go in, and I think Black Widow wasn't a good direction they went in. It was too far-fetched as well.
Kind of came too late too. You know, it's like we kind of needed that like before Endgame. And
I felt like I mean it takes place right after the events of Civil War, so I felt like it would have made sense to get that movie, that same year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, they just kind of waited too long, and like, how are we supposed to care about Black Widow anymore? Unfortunately, she's a cool character, but yeah, I liked the movie. I thought it was fun. It's not going to be on my 5 here.
So what's your fifth worst?
What'd you say, Felipe?
I thought Black Widow was alright, not one of my 5 worst.
Yeah. So coming in at my number 5, so I guess this would be number 19 on the list.
21.
It's 24 movies?
25.
Oh, it's 25 movies. Okay, yeah, so this would be coming in at number 20. Would be Iron Man 3. It's... I felt at this time there was so many Marvel movies that had come out since, Iron Man, that I feel like I do now. It's just like I'm just oversaturated. There's just too much, and they just did a little too much in this one. It is fun, and it still has some fun elements. I really enjoy all of them being Iron Man and all of the his a drone Iron Man come in, and I think that's really fun. I felt like the third act fell apart. I didn't care for the Mandarin. Mandarin, yeah. The Ben Kingsley character just didn't. I love Ben Kingsley, and I just felt like he was just misused in this. But yeah, it's fine. It's a fine film. It's not. It's just we rewatched all of the Marvel movies during the pandemic, so I listed them as we went. And this one just immediately was towards the bottom, just because it was fine. It's just nothing to continue the story, to carry the story. We knew it was going to be the last Iron Man movie, and it just didn't go out with a bang like other trilogies end. So I was just disappointed mostly in Iron Man 3.
Well, here's the way I see it. I like Iron Man 3. And I think it works well as an Iron Man movie, but it doesn't work very well as an MCU movie.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was saying. It doesn't continue a storyline that we really care about or want to know during the MCU. But it does work as an Iron Man movie. Totally.
Do you think it works as a Christmas movie?
No.
Not really, no.
Yeah.
I do have to say this. Unfortunately, the director, I love his movies. Kiss Kiss
Shane
Bang
Black,
Bang
yeah.
is so damn good, and so is The Nice Guys. I freaking love The Nice Guys, and so I guess I also was hoping that we'd get a good, directed movie, and we just kind of felt that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll explain more on Iron Man 3 in a bit. Felipe, what's your 22nd, your fourth least favourite?
I would say Thor: The Dark World. You know, I've only seen it once, and I don't remember it much. I remember a couple of entertaining scenes, but that's really it. Like when Loki and Thor steal that ship, that was kind of entertaining. Other than that, I don't remember much else. It's like, um, so the fact that it's not very memorable, that's kind of what puts it on this list. I don't have much to say about it.
Well, I'll have more to say about it later.
I will have more to say about it, but I'm going to bounce off Justin now and talk more about Iron Man 3. If Jon Favreau directed this movie, then it would be so much better because it would stick with the same style as 1 and 2. And, I just feel like Shane tried too hard to make it more his way, not the Marvel way. There was no AC/DC. There was a Disney twist villain. A Disney twist villain? Really, Disney? You have one job and you put a Disney twist villain in?
No, this is before Disney came involved, right?
This was like the first film Disney were involved with.
Iron Man 3 was?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No wonder.
So yeah, the only good thing about it is the fact they boo babidi blah at the start, and then that funny ending credit tune at the end. Those are the two good things about it. Man, I like the Iron Paper suit.
Yeah. Wasn't Potts? Didn't she hop in her suit in that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out of that suit. Okay. Maybe controversial, but I go also with rewatchability when it comes to just movies in general and entertainment. This is a newer one. It's an origin story, and I hate to say it because the lead is a woman, but Captain Marvel is my number 4.
It's this list for me.
Yeah, it just lacked fun. It really just lacked fun. When you're in a Marvel movie, you just want fun, and it just really lacked it. I mean, I like the character. I think Captain Marvel is a great character. They, probably one of the toughest characters there is in all the Avengers. It just didn't work. I actually liked a lot of the sub characters more. Like Ben Mendelsohn's great as a villain, but also like the her best friend. I really enjoyed her, who actually comes around to, in the TV series, the new TV series that are coming out. But yeah, this one was just, I don't know. I didn't. It's not that I even wanted more. I just wanted something else. I just thought it was going to be something else, and it just wasn't. I also think maybe Brie Larson's miscast. She just isn't bringing the charisma to the character that I think somebody else could. But she's a fantastic actress. I just think she should stay out of the Marvel universe.
Well, I liked her in Avengers Endgame. She wasn't in it very much, but
Yeah. Barely.
Yeah, she was a lot better in that film.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't think she can hold her own in a Marvel setting. Whereas, like, give her, room, and she's mind blowing. You know, she needs more. She needs more to do.
Right, we are down to the official bottom three. Felipe, what's your first one in your bottom three? Well, obviously the third one. Sorry.
My third one would have to be what's it? Oh, Ant-Man, the first Ant-Man. Kind of fun, but you know, I really wanted to see what I really wanted to see Edgar Wright's original vision for that story. Um, you know, which has been in development since the early 2000s. You know, but you know, as time has passed, and you know, we entered the MCU phase. You know, they were like, no, we're gonna rewrite it and integrate it into our growing universe thing. Um, you know, maybe I might be. I think I'm kind of biased toward that film because we didn't get the vision that from Edgar Wright.
Yeah. If we did a top 10, this would have been my number 7. Because now it's the opposite of Captain Marvel, where it just had too much fun. There's this happy medium in the middle, like, where I feel like Marvel has, like Thor Ragnarok, lots of fun, but still lots of Marvel stuff. You know, we need that. And Ant-Man was just too much fun. It really just didn't work in the MCU universe. And to add in a character like that, it's a little tough. It's a little tough to add in a new character. So, and that actually has same thing for Captain Marvel. It's tough to add in a new character and have him like really spring off. You know, because we saw Black Panther first before Black Panther came out. You know, so he was introduced to us already.
Right.
I actually like Ant-Man as a movie as well. But yeah, I'm going to go back to Felipe with Age of Ultron. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. I know you love Joss Whedon, and I used to be a huge fan of his work because I love Buffy. But I think this is his decline, and obviously is what led him to obviously this being blacklisted.
Well,
and Age of Ultron, I watched Age of Ultron like so many times now. I just keep getting bored of it. I just think the writing is a bit too cheesy now, and I did feel like I was expecting like more, and I feel like the Aaron Taylor Johnson version of Quicksilver didn't really need to be in it. And I just kind of wish they made it so much better than it was. I just wasn't pleased with the final project. I was really anticipated for it for ages, and then when I watched it, I just thought, nah, it's okay.
Well, like I mentioned before, I think the problems with that movie were not Joss Whedon's fault, and I think he wanted to make a genuinely good film. But on top of that, though, I think wherever his talents might have lacked for this movie, you know, I feel it had a lot to do with it, with him moving from a TV format to a cinematic format. He's very good with TV, with writing TV. You know, like you said, Buffy. You know, Firefly is my favorite TV show, and you know, he all around he's done very good with TV. Even now, there's a show that's airing on HBO Max, or that's on hiatus right now, but it's called The Nevers, and I'm enjoying that too. So, you know, I think he's better suited for TV.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to come across. He is a much better TV writer than a filmmaker, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. I feel like the Captain Marvel directors are the same because I just looked at them and they're mostly TV as well. But I will give a shout out to them because they did direct it was a co-producing or co-directing thing. They did direct one of my favorite Ryan Reynolds movies that we just did, Mississippi Grind. So I really enjoyed that movie.
Nice.
But all right, my numero tres. This movie is not the first attempt, and it's not the worst attempt, but it's not the best movie, and they had to recast this character. My number three is 2008, The Incredible Hulk. I mean, Edward Norton was just not the right person for the job, unfortunately, because we got such a good Hulk later, you know? Like one of the best actors that you can put in a movie. It's like a Robert Downey Jr. He's such a good actor, and you put him in a role, and they're just going to kill it. And unfortunately, that didn't happen for the great actor Edward Norton. We also have Liv Tyler in this movie, and Tim Roth, and William Hurt, and the only thing that made this work was the end credit, and that's when we got to see Iron Man. But yeah, I mean, for the reasons that they had to miscast, they miscast and had to move, another actor into it. That means the movie didn't work, and it just didn't work for me. There are some entertaining parts. I just love. I love when he's the green guy. It's just it's a little more. You can feel for them a little bit more when he's the green guy, but as regular Bruce Banner, it just didn't work. And yeah, I mean, the director did Now You See Me, and the brothers Grimsby, whatever that is, Transporter 2. So he likes, and Unleashed, he likes action films, and I think the action did work in this, just wrong cast, maybe even wrong director, but yeah, The Incredible Hulk just wasn't as fun as I wanted it to be. But it is better than
You do need to see Brothers Grimsby. It is funny.
Brother Grimsby. This is a parody movie? Oh, yeah. Oh, no. It's Sacha Baron Cohen and Mark Strong. Oh, boy. All right, what's number two? Coming in with the silver.
Yeah, my number two is The Incredible Hulk.
Sound. I'll bounce back off you because that's my number two as well.
Okay. Yeah. Pretty much for the same reasons you were saying, except I actually thought Edward Norton was fine as the Hulk. But, having only seen the movie once, I don't remember much about it. I do remember liking the big action scenes with the green guy. Other than that, it was not a good film, really. But it did have good potential. I guess it was at least better than what was his name? Ang Lee's Hulk.
I actually like that film.
No.
But yeah, I feel like compared to Ang Lee, who I've obviously seen Brokeback Mountain and Life of Pi recently, he's an artistic director, and at least he brought some style to Hulk. I just feel like this MCU one was very bland, and if it weren't for Tim Roth, William Hurt, Edward Norton, or Liv Tyler, or even Ty Burrell and Tim Blake Nelson, it just wouldn't be a good movie. I just think it really lacks in plot.
Yeah, it's all about the action for sure. I remember Hulk. I was looking so forward to it, the Ang Lee one, and yeah, I thought the actor was fine though.
Eric Bana.
Eric Bana, yeah, I thought he was fine. He was, that's when he was starting to come up.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. What's your bottom second?
Okay, well, I'm sure I'm in the minority on this, but again, we just rewatched them, and then after watching this, it just immediately went to the bottom. Um, this is part of the franchise that I already brought up. It's the second installment, 2010's Iron Man 2. The villain did not work for me. I like Mickey Rourke. I think he's a really good actor. The villain that he did just was not good. And then of course I just hate when they do this in movies. Sorry, Terrence Howard, you had to back out of being James Rhodey, but Don Cheadle stepped in, and no, I don't like that. But it also is it's just not. It doesn't add to the story. Like Iron Man is just so solid. So when you have a solid first one, you gotta go 2 and 3. Like I said about the third one, you just didn't continue the story in a way that it was going to be helpful for that little franchise. But it does help for Avengers world and MCU world, but not the Iron Man world. We did get our first introduction for the Black Widow. She's cool because she actually doesn't have any superpowers. She's just kind of badass. So that was fun to see, and I liked her scenes in it. Yeah, this is like Tony Stark just throwing his money around this movie, just showing all of its glitz and glam and stuff. But one person who had a lot of fun in this movie, Sam Rockwell, got to give it up for him. He had a great time doing that part, and you can tell. So he was the only real sort of saving grace. I know people don't like him in that movie, but Iron Man 2 is lacking a villain, lacking story continuation, and lacking Terrence Howard.
I actually like Iron Man 2.
Yeah, I know I'm in the minority.
It's okay. It's okay. Like, if we all had the same opinion, everything would be boring anyway.
Well, we kind of all do. At least in our top 5, we have some lineups.
We do.
Let's see if any of our number ones line up.
Well,
hit me with your words, Felipe.
All right. Well, I'm not sure if you are in the minority because Iron Man 2 is my number 1. In contrast to Iron Man 3, Iron Man 2 was too much of an MCU movie, not enough of an Iron Man movie. And so it does work in setting up the Avengers, and that's what they were really concerned about. You can really tell they weren't really worried about making a good Iron Man movie. They just wanted to set up the Avengers, and that's fine. But they sacrificed a good story. What could have been a good story? Fan service is always good if you know how to use it. If you know how to deliver to the fans. But it should not be at the expense of the story. Like the biggest probably the biggest piece of fan service I can think of is that portal scene from Endgame. And the payoff for that is so rewarding. It meant so much to the fans in that theater. Everyone was cheering and I myself being there opening weekend. I don't remember if it was Friday or Saturday, but I was there opening weekend, and I felt like we were all experiencing this together for the first time, and it felt so good, so meaningful. But Iron Man 2 just does the fan service, too much of the fan service. That it doesn't feel so rewarding. It just feels like it's kind of there. At the time, it felt kind of rewarding, because people were really anticipating the first Avengers movie. But after that first Avengers movie came out, I feel like Iron Man 2 lost its relevance. So, yeah.
I agree. And I know one film film that I personally think is worst out of every MCU movie in the world, and I love this trilogy. It has a decent first installment, a fantastic third installment, but it has a terrible second installment, and it's for The Dark World.
which is also my number one as well.
Sweet.
It's
So
Thor: The
let's
Dark
talk
World.
about why me and Justin despise this movie. It's the villain. I like the actor who plays him because I love Doctor Who. I love Chris Eccleston, but he does not work as an MCU villain. He does not work as an MCU villain. Plus, I feel like the whole kind of like the style is a bit too dark and you can't see. I mean, I did like the big bloke. He puts on the armor and becomes this big hench bloke. But if he was the main villain, it would have been a much better movie. I do like that it's set in England because sometimes it's a different setting. But I don't know. I just feel like it was just could have been a much better Thor movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
I do
it's
agree.
yeah, you just did. It's nothing that we want from an MCU movie. Like nothing. There's nothing in it except the character Thor that we want. Everything else, you're right, is dark. I mean, Asgard and its road is like vibrant, and all we got was this darkness to it, and it was too much up in that world and up in their politics and up in their universe, and they didn't connect with the real people down here who are the ones really watching your movie, So, like, connect with us as well. And it just didn't work. I do love, who's the old man that's not, yeah, Stellan Skarsgård. I think he's so great as an actor, and I think he is really good in the Thor series. Natalie Portman, underutilized. She's Academy Award winner, and you just throw her in this movie and don't give her much to work with. Same thing with Anthony Hopkins. It's like he didn't do a good job as Odin. He's just Anthony Hopkins. It's not any sort of like acting that he has to overcome. Yeah, it's just not. There's zero fun in Thor: The Dark World, and it's my least favorite, and I remembered the least about it. I mean, even the poster right here, it looks like an Avengers poster, but you just like it's the Avengers movie you don't want to watch. It just doesn't like they're all CGI criminals and villains, and
Yeah.
that's my number one.
Yeah. How do Marvel not make a movie like Thor: The Dark World or Iron Man 2 for Felipe's case?
Yeah, and then just because you're right, Thor is a great movie, and then Thor Ragnarok's a fantastic movie. It's definitely in a lot of people's top 5 favorites. And then you have this in between. I mean, you normally, like what we've always seen, like the first one's good, sometimes the second one's better or just as good, and the third one is like a throwaway. They just did it. It's like in the opposite direction here. This was the throwaway.
Yeah, yeah. And knowing you, Justin, you probably think Captain America just keeps getting better.
I agree. Yeah, the first Avenger was good. Winter Soldier, fantastic, and then Civil War, woo! So
I actually like Winter Soldier more than Civil War, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's in like my top 5. Both of them are in my top 5. So
Yeah, I agree with Felipe. I prefer Winter Soldier as well.
yeah. Well, Civil War acts so much like an Avengers movie.
It does.
And it does it really well.
I kind of wish that was Age of Ultron.
I like Age of Ultron. I like all the Avengers movies. All right, let's count them down. Felipe, what's your number 5?
Age of Ultron.
My number 5 is Black Widow.
My number 5 is Iron Man 3.
My number 4 is Thor: The Dark World.
My number 4 is Iron Man 3.
I have Captain Marvel.
My number 3 is Ant-Man.
My number 3 is Age of Ultron.
I have The Incredible Hulk.
My
My number 2 is Incredible Hulk.
And that's my number 2 as well.
My number 2 is Iron Man 2.
My number 1 is Iron Man 2.
And me and Justin matched on For the Dark World for our number 1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like Iron Man 2, Thor: The Dark World, Incredible Hulk, and Iron Man 3 are like the top 4 in consensus here.
Yeah, and Age of Ultron.
Oh yeah, and Age of Ultron. So that would be our overall top 5
Yeah.
for the 3 of us. What was your guys' number 6?
Captain Marvel.
I'd say Captain Marvel as well.
Mine was Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange. I really like that one.
I really watched that one today. It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, after these 5...
actresses are in that film as well.
Tilda Swinton.
And
Rachel McAdams.
yes.
I mean, after these 5, the movies get better. Like, they're not bad movies. They just aren't, our favorites. But, like, yeah, Doctor Strange is an incredible movie. Really, really good. It's just all the other ones are just so damn good, too.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. Ant-Man would have been there.
Ant-Man and the Wasp is definitely better than the first one.
I agree. I have that higher, too. Yeah.
I think it's funnier. Definitely funnier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Right, I think that's about it for today. Justin, thank you for joining me this week again.
Of course, thanks for having me, as always.
And next week we're doing Clint Eastwood movies.
That's right. With Cry Macho coming out, we are doing our top 5 favorite Clint Eastwood directed movies.
That's right. That's right. And Felipe, thank you for joining us for today's episode. Where can we find you?
You can follow me on Instagram, The Culture Twine 1990.
Nice.
What do you do on there?
I post. Basically, it's just my way of posting blogs. When I should do that, but I haven't done anything since May. I need to. But I have like 2 or 3 articles in progress. So. Yeah.
Sweet. Obviously, don't forget to check out my website, robbiesreviews.co.uk. Check out Justin at Worth Review Movies.
That's right. Your newest review was of Jerry Maguire?
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome. Good movie.
Show
me the money!
Show me the money! Right, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Let us know your least favourite MCU film in the comments. Alright, thank you guys for coming on.
Thor 2 Dark World as well? Let us know.
Yes, let us know. Alright, bye. Bye guys.
Bye guys.
Bye bye.